Okay. There you go. If everyone selects got it, then you won't get kicked out.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Glad to see your faces. Sadly, we can't do this in person yet. It's been held off for a little bit longer, so hopefully in the next, if not the next, the next after that, we'll be able to return to our hall for a gathering. So I will approve the agenda.
I don't know if this is something to start for you.
Be it resolved that the Duntroon Hall Board hereby approves the agenda dated September 21st, 2021 as presented.
Sure.
We got Jim, we got Doug. Thank you. At this point, if you could disclose any disqualifying interest in nature hereof related to the items on today's agenda. None. Thank you. Approval of the minutes. Be resolved, Duntroon Hall Board hereby approve the AGM and regular meeting minutes dated August 17th, 2021 as presented. Yeah, good, excellent, thank you. Business arising from the minutes, AODA renovation and washrooms. I think that was related to Jim. You were gonna check with potentially with with Terry, just with regards to washrooms and how that was to play out.
So yeah, I have been in touch with Lloyd about seeing if he's available for hire to work on the project, and he has not had time yet to review the package I sent him.
Okay.
So we'll have to wait.
Yeah, I think there was a question about that you were going to investigate. Just find it here. You will seek clarification from Terry regarding accessibility requirements throughout the building. Accessible washrooms on each floor, bar area.
Yeah, I kind of did that before, and you know, like Terry, like the rest of us, isn't, I think, totally up. I got the sense anyway on what is possible or not. Even Scott McLeod, when I talked to him, he's kind of saying, well, this isn't my expertise. That's where I think. So I had not contacted Terry again because the last correspondence was not, I wasn't sure where that was. So was hoping that Lloyd could follow up with it.
Yeah, okay, great. Reopening, yeah, we're going to discuss at this meeting review reopening guidelines. I think at this point, we can have further discussion later on regarding that. Nothing has really changed with the province's mandate, so we're still sort of sitting at the same situation of 20 inside. We will discuss vaccination requirements and such a little bit later on. Anybody have any comments with regards to reopening? All right, Mary. Oh, sorry, I jumped ahead of you. Sorry, Kelly. We can go back to you. I got rolling a little too fast there.
No worries, I'm not offended. I have met most, well, I've met some of you. Anybody who hasn't met me, I'm Kelly McDonald. I'm the Director of Finance and Treasurer for Clearview Township. Mary and Monica, I know we've been back and forth quite a bit with emails and that. So council approved a new e-transfer policy where we've got the account set up. so that when your renters send their e-transfer through to a specific email, it will automatically transfer into your account. And we'll get an email with the confirmation code directly in it that you can track back, Mary. So we're all good to go. You guys are going to be kind of our guinea pigs because you're one of our most active with the e-transfers. So I just wanted to pop in and let you know that I'm going to roll that out whenever you give me the go. I've got the specific email address that you'll need to get your renters to use rather than using the old one. And I'm excited about this.
Yeah, this is great.
It relieves a lot of work on all of us, just the back and forth between like, is this okay to accept? And so.
Great work, Kelly.
Sorry, Mary?
Yes, no, thank you, Kelly. That's great. So in the notification that I get, will it have the person's transfer code on it? Because I need that because on the bank, well, because it's on the bank statement, and because the payments are so similar, people renting usually pay, sort of a standard amount. So I need to differentiate who's who, and the only way I can do that is with that code.
Yeah, and I did test it out, and it does come back with an email. So when they send the e-transfer through, it's an automatic deposit into the bank account. That email address that they're sending it to, which is going to be eft-duntroon@clearview.ca, it will automatically send an email back to that account with the actual deposit code. So you'll be able to track it to the bank statement using that code, but it'll also have the person's name depositing the money. So it'll say hooked on security plus the deposit code. So you'll know who the renter was, just to make sure they have all their paperwork in. And you'll also have that authentication code that you can match to your bank statement.
Well, that's great, because that would be the cross-reference then. So that email, will that come to both Monica and me?
I think right now I'm the only one that has access to that email. So what I'll do, I'll forward them to you both.
Great. All right.
In the future, depending on how this works, and please, Mary or anybody else, scream out to me if we have any hiccups with this. Because as I say, you're kind of our guinea pig. So I want to get everything pounded out with you guys, and then we can roll it out to all the other halls and all the other associations.
Sorry, Kelly. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, Kelly. I think that Monica will want it to be sent to the Duntroon Hall email.
Perfect. I can do that.
Thank you.
Now, do you all have access to that, or Mary, do you want a separate email to you?
Sorry, Kelly. I just meant forward it to the Duntroon Hall, not her personal email. Would make more sense.
Okay, got ya.
Yeah. So I don't have access to that. So if you can continue to forward it to me.
Okay, perfect. So I'll email it to the Duntroon Hall and CC you, Mary, and keep our fingers crossed that it's seamless.
That's terrific news. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank council for passing it. I was excited.
Perfect.
Yes. Yeah. Good.
All right. I won't take up any more of your time. You guys have an awesome meeting. Uh-oh. Is that a question for me, Councilor McCagney?
Yeah, no, I just, you had mentioned, Kelly, about once you get the go-ahead from the Duntroon Hall on this. So do we have to pass a motion or anything to give you the go-ahead, or is it just?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
I believe all we need to do is, I guess, tweak your rental contract so that this email address is the one that's being used now.
Okay.
And do you want me to just send an email to the Duntroon Hall, just with the email so you know exactly what it is? And then if you want to send me back an email, okay, good to go.
Sorry,
I'll
Kelly.
know that we're live.
Sorry, Kelly. We've just been sending your little one pager of how to transfer payments. Is that still viable?
Absolutely. I'll update it with the new email and forward it over to the Duntroon Hall email address.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect.
Good.
Excellent.
Great.
All right.
Thanks so
You
much.
guys have a
Kelly.
fantastic evening.
You too.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly.
Okay, so that's, I think, a perfect segue for our financial report from our great treasurer, Mary.
Okay, well, not much activity. As of today, our bank balance is $29,797.
Mary, did that, you said there was, you thought there was a payment outstanding with Joseph, but he had insurance.
He made two payments in June. He made a payment June 2nd and a payment June 29.
Oh, okay, that's why.
So that paid June and July.
Yeah.
And then he made a payment August 30th, which paid August.
Okay.
So he'll be, I would expect September soon,
Okay,
or by the end of the month.
yeah, I'll follow up on that.
But that's all okay as far as Joseph.
Excellent. Monica, update on event bookings, and I think there was the one question regarding the kitchen.
Yeah, so our Christmas parties start the first Saturday in November.
Yeah.
Every Saturday in November and December is booked. And our first buck and dough is New Year's Eve ending. And the girl asked about the kitchen, and I told her $100 a day, and she said, "Okay, great," but I don't know any more than that.
Super. And she was going to do 2 days a week.
Yes.
Okay. And that was tentatively starting November.
Yes, because I told her she'd have to start after Joseph, and I told her she could pick and choose any 2 days, whatever she wanted to do.
Okay. I'm just obvious. So it'd have to be during the week. And I'm wondering if maybe not a Friday, just because of our Saturday groups.
I think it'd be fine.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be really flexible with her, whatever
Yep.
she wants to do.
Yeah. Great.
But I haven't heard any more from her, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. Doug?
And then I had a group call me from Brampton, a pigeon club, and they were looking for a Saturday in November, but we're all booked. And they said that they got another hall in Clearview, but they would like to check back with us in February.
Pigeon group?
A pigeon club, he said. So as long as they don't bring their pigeons, we're good to go.
I was going to say
just gonna say that.
something foul about this.
Gord, can I ask?
Maybe pigeon-
Monica.
maybe-
Monica,
Maybe pigeons.
sorry.
oh,
Go ahead, Mary.
Maybe pigeons code for something else.
I think so.
Yeah. Monica, you sent me that email. It's Doug here. You sent me that email earlier today, and I forwarded it on to Kayla and Terry and Stasha at the township. So the emails that you got back, did that satisfy you? Did that answer your questions?
I haven't taken a good look at it entirely, but my Christmas groups are starting to ask me if they can come or not. So that's why I kind of was pushing that I need to know what was going on.
Okay.
But it could also be by November, so who knows?
All right. Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
I can
let me know anyway, because I'm not sure what it is that he's requiring or you're requiring. So anyway, that's I'll stay out of it unless you need me to get involved here. So.
No, that's perfect. Thanks, Doug.
So yeah, I'll read that email right now, just so everybody knows what the township is sort of outlined with regards to our openings and how we address it. On behalf of Amanda Murray and our Parks, Culture, Recreation Department, we would like to share the information below with you as you continue to plan your reopening guidelines and proof of vaccination procedures. Please note, the hall boards and volunteers are responsible for the contact tracing and COVID-19 self-assessment process. It will be up to the hall boards to decide how to manage the requirements of proof of vaccinations from your users. And that's it. Basically, that's all we get. So,
Sorry, Gord, I'm just going to jump in here.
Yeah.
And this is probably more targeted to Doug. Is the township suggesting at this point that we need to be actively screening every person that enters the hall as volunteers?
I think so. That's sort of the way I read it. Anybody that enters the hall as of tomorrow you have to make sure they're double vaccinated. So,
Right, but
that's the way I read it. Yeah.
I'm just a little confused why that would be the hall board's responsibility and not the renter's responsibility, because when we rent out the hall board, we're not responsible for, their liquor license or, their whatever else requirements. So why would we be responsible for this? Why would it not be the person who's renting?
Yeah, good point.
I'm not sure. Jump in here, Kayla, and help me out here, Kayla.
Thanks. No,
I'm just reading this for the
joking.
first time myself too. So
I have the feeling that if that there could be potential for the same way that we kind of regulated renters to have their own safety plan put in place. Maybe that will fall on them as well. Maybe that's something that we can talk to Amanda about creating in the rental agreement, that they're responsible to ensure that everybody attending their event is compliant. But again, I don't actually know the specifics around it. Again, it's brand new. I don't think many people really know what's expected of us at this point, but definitely try to reach out to Amanda again and see if she can help.
Is Amanda the one heading this up?
Yeah, she's been in charge of most of the communication coming out as it relates to the guidelines and the new implementations for events.
Okay, so most townships and or counties have provided like proper poster resources and documentation of kind of how to keep track of this. Also, given that there's a serious privacy issue surrounding it, I think that it's probably best that it not fall into our responsibility. And I'm a little confused as to how it works if it's not our event, which would not be a township event. These are private events.
So
I don't know if everyone's okay. I'm happy to follow up with Amanda on this front, given the issues here.
yeah, I agree. There needs to be clarification. My thoughts were the same as yours, Nicole, that if we're renting out to someone, it would fall into their responsibility. And if we are hosting, that it becomes our responsibility and we have to follow specific guidelines that meet whatever.
Maybe at the very least, we provide the renter with like a template because they're going to have to do the contact tracing, name and number, right? And then they're going to have
it sorry, Mary, it depends if it's required for active screening or passive screening. And if it is active screening, we could post a QR code. Again, generally most townships and or counties are providing these resources to businesses and to their facilities. So however they're setting up their facilities that they manage, they should be providing us those same resources, whether that be the arena or the library or whatever else.
Yes, but also the renter then would be responsible for ensuring everybody is double vaccinated. And that has to be logged. Like I went to the gym today and I had to prove that I was double vaccinated, and the date of my second vaccination was recorded.
Yeah, I think there's no point of kind of us going through this. I really think it should be the responsibility of the township. So I don't know if we need a motion that I would email Amanda, or if everyone's okay if I just go ahead and maybe do some research and some due diligence.
That's fine with me.
Yeah,
I think just go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Nicole.
Of course.
Yeah, I'd reach out to Amanda just because I knew this was coming down the pipe, trying to get some clarification. And yeah, I think documentation that's sort of universal for all the township facilities is required.
Gord, could you forward me that email?
Yeah.
Thanks.
And also a disclaimer that it's the renter's responsibility to be able to produce that documentation if required.
Yeah, and what is that?
Yes,
Yeah, what do they have to provide?
And then something it doesn't clarify in the email is, can they use the kitchen? Can they have food? That was a big no-no before.
Yeah. That's
It
something.
doesn't say here.
No.
Again, I think this is, Doug, I'm just going to direct this to you, very much like a township thing. They're renting out the halls, like the township owned halls, like, and or any facilities. How are those functioning? And we would adapt any of our resources according to the townships. So I think this is definitely something that if you guys have a safety plan in place for township buildings, then that should be provided to the hall so that we can take our direction from you.
Okay. So basically, I suppose came out because of Terry Vashon. He just sent it out today, and it says that Amanda's still on holidays until September the 27th. Is that too late for you, Monica? If we're going to deal with Amanda directly, is September the 27th too late for you? Do you want Terry to contact you in the meantime, between now and then?
I think it'll be fine for now. I did send the email to Amanda and I got the response that she was away. So that's when I sent the message to you, just so I knew, so I could report something at the meeting.
Right. So I do see here that in Terry's email, it does say it will be up to the hall boards to decide how you want to manage the requirements of proof of vaccination from your users. So that could, it seems like they're going to be pretty flexible with what you want to do. But I'll talk to Terry tomorrow and tell him that we need to get this clarified as soon as possible. Part of the problem is these things are being decided at the emergency whatever meeting, which I'm not a part of it. So the only person from council that's on that committee, that emergency procedures committee or operations committee, is the mayor. And so basically, I'm sitting over here in my house. I don't get any more information than what you folks get, basically. So I'm a little bit at a loss right now, but I'll get on it tomorrow morning. And
maybe we should also include Doug Measures in this conversation if Amanda is away. But I think the overarching concern that I can see is, as a township facility, you're asking us to get vaccination proof, essentially private, health information from people, and suggesting that we do whatever we want or control that however we want. And I'm not sure if that's appropriate.
yeah, okay.
Just given the sensitive nature of that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think there's got to be a little bit more guidance there. So I'll get on it tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
Okay.
And
I don't know
the other
whether I'll
thing
be able to get much information, but anyway.
Besides the kitchen and the food, it's the bowling alley too. People are asking me about.
Yeah, that's the touchy one.
Touchy balls.
Literally touchy balls. Yeah.
I would assume that the Georgian bowling alley is open. Is that, am I
Yeah,
right saying that?
I see a lot of
wonder if,
cars.
Yeah,
I wonder if we can utilize that same, like whatever they're using.
protocol, yeah. We get like a car wash for the balls when they come back into the
Yeah.
reservoir there. They go through it. It's automatic. Little sprayer or something. I don't know. That would be easy. I'll reach out to the bowling alley and just see what they're doing for how they're managing stuff like that, because yeah,
I don't see why we would need to, like, if it's only one group renting it, then assumingly we wouldn't need to really do anything.
sanitize, yeah.
Yeah, it's, to me, it's the same as if they're just renting a hall. If it's, we can get it zeroed in so that it's their responsibility.
Yeah.
And not ours.
Yeah.
Georgia Bowl is open. I just went online and it says they're open till 11 o'clock. So
yeah,
they're obviously somehow doing something.
Yeah.
There's often a lot of cars there, I've noticed.
Yeah. All right. Monica, was there anything else?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. There's a lot in it. It will evolve. Facility review.
I have a question.
Certainly.
What happened about the square dancers? There was some email or something that they had been watching our Zoom meetings and assumed we were closed.
I've had a few messages from people that think we're going to close. And the square dancers were one of them. And so they called me and wanted to take all their stuff out. And I said, we're not closing and your stuff's not in the way. You're welcome to leave it there. And she said, no, we thought we'd better just get it out.
It's not much stuff, right? A box.
Yeah.
Yeah, they already took it. It's gone.
Yeah, it's fine.
So they haven't abandoned us. They're just not dancing, right? They're not meeting?
Not at this time. They thought we were closing though.
I will. I will send another. I had emailed them. I will send another sort of follow up just to reinforce that we aren't closing at this point, and that we would take their rental if they're interested, if it follows the guidelines.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just tell them we want their money. No, whether they show up or not, we still want their money.
We want them to keep dancing. It's good for their health.
Yeah.
All right. Facility review. Only note I have here is one of the septic covers was damaged, cracked, or whatever, and I forwarded that on to Terry, and apparently that's been dealt with. If not, they're dealing with it. Anybody else have anything on facility? No, we good. Did we get those large garbage containers dropped off at the hall?
Yes, they were dropped off and I shoved them in the flower bed.
Okay.
Like where the garbage bin used to be, I just put them in there at the way.
Okay. Good.
Did Mark get your weed picked up from the last one?
I haven't noticed. I'm sure it did.
Okay.
But is that the weeds picked up?
Yeah.
Is that the question? Yeah, I gathered up some weeds that were right beside the mailbox there. There was a big pile of weeds there by the mailbox. I gathered those up.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you.
Where are the bins?
They should be, I put them probably, when they first came out, I put them right where the old garbage bin used to be, right beside the mailboxes.
Okay.
Because I don't want them in the hall. I don't think we need them.
Should we hide them or before they're full?
Well, yeah, that was the concern. Do we put a lock on them or hide them, or just because I think part of the thing we were trying to avoid with the bin was renters filling up with their garbage that they're supposed to take, right?
Well, can't the township just take them back? Because we're not going to use them.
I don't think it's a township thing, is it? I think it's
Empty.
County thing.
county.
It's a county.
Yeah.
And they'll, I think they'll come and take them back, but I think they have to, they may end up sitting there for quite a while before they actually get around to taking them back. Because I know there were some garbage bins that were dropped off at places like cemeteries and things like that. And apparently they are going to go around and pick them back up. So
We
anyway,
we got 2 sets. So
Because you
I
have two
called the number that was in the echo, and the guy said, and I gave the 2 sets of numbers, and he determined which one was assigned to us. He said that they would come, since I called and they have a note of it, they will come and pick them up, and they would be here by October 25th.
Mhm.
okay, all right.
But we'd have to call in.
I have 2 properties
Mary,
in
do you-
counties and I didn't get any bids at either of them.
Oh, you should just take the ones from the hall.
That's what I was thinking, but it sounds like they have a code on them.
Yeah, with the
That would
address,
be considered theft.
you're supposed to write on the address, your address on the bins. But they are the property of Simcoe County, not personal.
Good. Anything else, facility?
The only little thing I was going to mention, we bartended a wedding Saturday night, and they had this little cooler thing that we thought would work well for our ice, and we just wondered if we could purchase it. It's just under $300.
Sorry, it's an ice maker?
No, it's not an ice maker. It's a stainless steel cooler, and it's on wheels, and it sits high up. I can send you a picture of it. But there was myself and 2 of our bartenders there, and we all agreed that it looked like a good idea for our hall.
As opposed to using the deep freeze?
No, instead of using the steel bowl with ice in it.
Oh, I see. It's okay. I thought it was
Countertop
like,
thing.
yeah, a countertopper. Yeah.
It's
Sure.
just basically a steel cooler, but it comes on wheels, so we could wheel it out by the pop and wheel it back in.
Okay.
Sounds good.
How does it dispense? You scoop?
Yeah, you scoop. It's just a cooler, but it looks nice and neat, and I don't know. It looked like a good idea.
Yeah. I'm almost wondering in this day and age if we should almost be looking for something that actually dispenses. So you put your ice in the top and then you pull a lever and it pours out below. Then
That would be. It would be great. I was just trying to keep things simple.
yeah. Maybe before we go ahead on that, maybe we'll just research that sort of dispenser option.
Okay.
Yeah, the nice thing about that would be that nobody can contaminate the ice in any way.
Exactly.
With the COVID stuff going on and everything, you have to be,
Especially for the,
dispenser, does it have to hook up to water and all that stuff?
No.
Not so much a maker, just a dispenser.
yeah,
So it just you put your ice in the top and it just filter. You know, you flip a lever and it'll come out the bottom. But I don't know. That we'll research it and find out what's an option
Yeah,
there.
no problem.
if not, we just have to make it, right?
Exactly.
We have to patent it ourselves.
Exactly. COVID get rich scheme.
Yeah.
Perfect. New business, kitchen inspection. I have no idea what happened with that. I saw the email after the inspection, I think, has happened. So we didn't need to be there or anything. So I don't know. Amanda's obviously not away. I don't know, Kayla, if you heard anything on any inspection updates.
I haven't heard any updates aside from Amanda will inform the board of the results.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the fact that it's being used actively and that, Joseph is under the health department guidelines, that I hope it was in fine form. If not, they'd notify him and he would have dealt with those issues. So I'll check in with him and see if he heard anything. Okay. Only other thing, I guess, with the AOADA stuff, obviously we're waiting for some update from Lloyd before we're able to move forward. The meeting was August 30th, I guess, with the Duntroon, Dunedin Halls. I watched that, Doug, and you can give some feedback on that. But basically what I got out of it was there was a bit of confusion. I got the sense with the costs of reviewing the plans, and they were throwing some numbers around, which by the end of the meeting, I think they sort of pulled out of the whole equation. But I think basically, I think Terry sort of resolved it that Burnside's engineers would review our architectural plans, as opposed to their architect and their engineer reviewing the plans that we submit. I think other than that, that's really all I got out of the meeting. Doug, if you had anything else.
No, I don't really have too much more to say. Yeah, I mean, there was some confusion as far as the cost. I think Terry estimated the cost to be $10,000, but I don't think he had anything to sort of base that on. He was just sort of taking a wild ass guess there, I think. So anyway, that's the and it's going to be a 3-month process prior to any approvals. So it was option number 1 that we approved, the council approved, and as Gord says, is to hire RJ Burnsides to review the Duntroon Hall board designs provided for the AODA compliance and approve or provide a final concept. It includes the kitchen and commercial fire renovations. Provide an estimated cost of the project as a whole as per final designs. So I think that's sort of what you guys wanted anyway. That was the best option. The option number 2 was just not review the Duntroon Hall board's designs and simply renovate as per RJ Burnside's list of renovations and estimated costs. So at least this way, what they're doing is going to have Burnsides review your plans and designs and just basically go with the best, go with what you guys decide, So I think that was the best option anyway.
Yeah, and there was definitely support for the fact that we, have taken on our own sort of unique approach to what we feel is best for the hall, and also support for Lloyd Hunt as a reputable architect. So I feel that whatever we come up with will be well received.
Yep,
That
I
would be
agree.
good.
I think some of the talk before you go to Doom, it was just on the finances side of it. So are we paying for Lloyd, or is the township paying for Lloyd? And I think there was a little bit of uncertainty there. And Terry, I think, sort of said, well, if we be paying for a Burnside architect, what's the difference with, them paying? If they're paying for the Burnside architect, well, why wouldn't they pay for the architect we've brought in, who, is just as reputable? So I think, there might be us having to pay above and beyond what certain review criteria, if all of a sudden, if Lloyd's more expensive than what maybe a Burnside architect would be in this case, which we don't think would be the case. then we might have to consider that. But I think that was they wanted clarification, I think, on those points.
And yeah, so Gord, are you saying that the Duntroon Hall, that you guys are gonna pay Lloyd, or that the township's gonna pay him?
Well, no, my sense is
What's your-
that the township would be paying for it within a reasonable, fees. But I think our belief is that part of the reason we're going with Lloyd is that it would be more reasonable than a Burnside architect.
Mhm.
Right, I agree. In the minutes, it says here that it be funded from the existing hall's renovation reserve. So that's a township reserve. So, yeah. Okay.
Jim?
Something I just think for Doug, when this comes up for all of the halls too, and again, I'm no code expert, but I'm pretty sure an assembly building like this has to have a registered architect and a structural engineer. Like that's where I think the whole idea of Burnside's designing, I'm just on Burnside's website and they have a landscape architecture aspect, but they have, I don't think, any architecture firm. So they may be having to hire
Figure
out
that out
anyway, because I'm pretty sure it's a requirement. Because like what,
Oh, okay.
like a big aspect of what an architect does is life safety stuff, right? All the fire aspect and that, more than engineers. So I'm just curious to know if that's been looked at, and as I brought up before, like kind of the first thing often an architect would do is check zoning and go through that stuff, which we found out right away is an issue. At our hall, for sure, it'll be at evening, probably done, like I'm thinking probably, I wouldn't doubt all the halls have a zoning issue that somebody should be getting on to looking at that, because it has to meet the basic procedures, right? First, you have to get past zoning compliance, and then you can do building stuff.
Yeah.
So
Right.
might be just something in the overall picture that to bring up.
Okay. Yeah. I'll mention that.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that Burnside doesn't have a structural engineer, because that's the sense I got.
Or an architect, you mean?
Or architect, yeah. That's the sense I got, that these reviews would go through the hands of one, their architect, and two, their engineer. So yeah, so obviously.
Maybe they have somebody, I haven't looked at it, but I've never heard of that. Like I know Tatham's doesn't, and I don't think Crozier's don't. Like, it's usually kind of engineers doing engineering.
Yeah.
With the landscape architecture thrown in sometimes with these firms. But so anyway, just something I believe that is an actual requirement.
Yeah.
That this isn't, architects get a bad rap for only worrying about what things look like, but there's actually a whole functional aspect here that I think, and the Lloyd would be great.
Yeah.
If we can get him, hopefully he has time, that's the problem.
Yeah.
But what is one thing Lloyd did ask the question of what is the timing? And I said, well, 2025 is when the building's supposed to be compliant. And as far as I know, right now, it's the township would like something happening sooner than later, but that we don't have any set deadlines.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
I think the idea to push it forward is cost related. The thought that it's only going to get more expensive to do potentially.
Yeah.
And getting it off the books.
Yeah. So, well, I'll let everybody know once I hear something from Lloyd.
Yeah, it's in his file, and that's great.
Yeah, and if he turns it down, I can contact some other options.
Okay.
But he was first choice.
Yeah. Perfect. Any questions regarding that? We're in limbo right now for a while, I think, on the hall renos. I guess we probably I guess all the rentals are downstairs for the most part until the Buck and Doe. So we probably consider a date that we want to clean things out and consider what we're going to do with the upstairs just to make it functionable.
I just told Monica that now that the nights are getting darker earlier, I can get down there. We'll get that garbage all cleaned out of there and kind of get a sense as to what we need to do to make it even back to temporary washrooms until we do get a decision of what's going on. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me know whenever you have a chance. I can help do some moving.
I'm here.
All right. I'll send out an email. What was that, Monica?
First Buck and Doe is New Year's Eve.
Right.
Yeah. Ron, did you remember we discussed the carpet
Cleaning.
fudging?
Okay.
I did try a spot there in the corner there, but we need so much stain, I think.
Oh yeah, it would just soak it in.
So I could suck it up or like
Yeah. Okay. Wait, did you roll it or spray it?
I just brushed it on.
Yeah.
What were you trying to do?
Just
Stain the carpet.
before we go into doing all the work, if we did, like replacing, just giving it like a stain just to make it look one
Uniform?
Yeah, exactly. Instead of a sea of stains, just a uni stain.
It's a good idea though.
Yeah.
So was there wasn't there a plan to contact Rick Wiley or somebody about steam cleaning the carpet?
I think it's beyond steam cleanable, isn't it?
I would worry about cleaning it.
You would worry about it?
Wouldn't.
No.
I thought it's been like that for years and we just keep cleaning it. Like there's been lots of times where it looked really terrible and we'll just keep bringing it back. It's probably the cheapest option. I think it'd be like a few $100.
Yeah.
Or to get him to see if he'll look at it, see if it's doable, if he could, worthwhile. But Monica, why are you thinking it's not a good idea?
Because I think it's beyond cleaning. And the Buck and Does don't care.
Oh, just leave it.
Yeah, just leave it for now until we get
Okay.
As long as they keep the lights down, nobody can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
Until we
idea.
have our full renovation plan, then I think, it's dead.
I don't know what's under it, but the only thing I would do is rip it up and just leave whatever's underneath it. I wouldn't bother cleaning it.
Yeah.
I'm afraid to find out what's underneath it.
Yeah.
I think there's multiple layers. We looked at it. There's like multiple layers of different flooring stuff. It would be a little scary. Yeah, I think scary and slippery, I think, is more what you're looking underneath there. At least with the carpet, there's some traction. Because that's to be a tendency why it's so stained is that's where all the drinks get spilled. So half the beer is gone by the time they get downstairs. All right. Well, whenever you get a chance, Doug, reach out and we can make that lighter work and then come up with a decision on how we want to, whether we seal them up or whether we just do something temporary or how we go about it. All right. I think that's it. Anybody have any points they want to raise? Things they want to discuss? No, well, good. Roz, we get to see what you're doing. I only get to see the top of your head. That's
Yeah.
it.
Sorry. Hi.
What you working on?
Nothing, it's fine.
All right. Well, everybody take care. Thank you very much. Next meeting's October 26th, 2021 at 7:00. Oh, know it all ball before we go. The fact that we haven't changed the guidelines and we're still at 20, I'm apprehensive about putting all that time and work into something that's catered to
Agreed.
a small group.
Got it.
So I think we just postpone that again until we can actually make it a real function.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
And we need to do something official.
Be it resolved, Duntroon Hall Board be adjourned at 7:58.